Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to look at the final Power of the Primes Dinobot Snarl. Finally found him at my local Walmart, just popped up yesterday, so just grabbed him, and here we go. So yeah, here he is in his Dino mode. Let's see here. I know you probably can attach this on somehow, but who cares? He does have a little sword here. Let's see here. You can plug it into here. It's got the 5mm port. It does not have a 5mm peg on the side. It's just got a slot. But you can plug it in just like that. And yeah, posability, nothing at the head. Front arms just swivel up and down. Back are on ball joints, so you get the out, up, and down. There's a thigh swivel and a bend at the elbow-ish area. And yeah, looks pretty good. Head is a little on the small side, but outside of that, I'd say, I mean, he definitely looks like Snarl. There's no question there. I think they did a pretty good job with this one. So, we'll get him here with all his dino buddies. Grimlock, Sludge, Slag, and Swoop. So, yeah, all together, I'd say, looks pretty good. I still think the the Grimlock is just a little too big for this. But, in Dino mode, it's not terrible. Now, scale, oh, and here's Slash as well. Come on. Stand. 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 There we go. Scale-wise, of course, the big issue, here's Legends. So if you're going like a Legends scale, this would probably work. But for a Chug scale, where this is a mini bot, this isn't going to work, especially when you got like Prime here. Just too big. He's just too big. You take him out, and you can put in the classic Grimlock here. And I'd say scale-wise, he fits a little bit better. Now this is the Takara version with the chrome. I'd say the regular classics version would probably fit in this a little bit better. Although it is definitely more a Neo design, whereas these are more G1 style. So yeah, let me get, let's get him transformed. So, get everybody out of the way. And to transform him, again, like the other ones, it's pretty simple. So you want to flip the legs back here. I'll pull this part off. Split this assembly here out like this. Fold the legs down. Flip the back pieces in. And then the heads can just go down to the side. Straighten the arms out, and then you want to take this this assembly here. It's on a swivel, so you can swivel the whole thing up. Up. Split the tail. Comes to the back. Folds out. Flip the head up. Put the tail assembly up like that. And you can just, yeah. Oh, flip the hands out. And that is it. Fairly simple transformation. I think his arms seem a little on the long side, And even in the dyno mode, the legs seem a little long, so it definitely could have been shortened just a tad. Yeah, it's kind of funny how, you know, a $15 deluxe could get this back piece better than the $70 Fans Project one. And I love the Fans Project one, but I mean that backpack was an eyesore. So yeah, it's kind of funny with that. We got some good tempographed paint going on here and here. Yeah, he holds his sword just fine. And then posability wise, his head is on a ball joint, so you get the left and right, a little up, a little down. Shoulders are on ball joints. Now these things are super hollow, and you know, it's like this is hollow, but you know, whatever. This is hollow, and it definitely is an eyesore. It just means you have to kind of keep him like this, otherwise any kind of movement, and you're seeing that hollowness, and it looks bad. Bicep swivel, bends at the elbow. Waist swivel, hips are on ball joints. Thigh swivel, bends at the knee, and nothing at the feet. And that is really all she wrote on this guy. So let me get the other guys transformed, and we can do a comparison, or a big group shot. Alright, and real quick before we get into the rest of the Dinobots, you can put this here to do like the, I don't fucking know. Alright, so, Snarl, Grimlock, Slag, Sludge, and of course, and all in all, you know, now that they're complete, I'd say it's a decent set. Not the greatest. Now that you got them all together, you kind of see more of the flaws. Something funky's going on here, and his shoulders kind of suck, and of course Grimlock's too big because they had to make it into a combiner. Removing him and putting the deluxe one in there, you get a little bit better coherent scale amongst the Dinobots, so that's acceptable, I'd say. Scale with chug wise, you know, you got your Legends figures, you got your Voyager and your Seekers, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work in a chug scale. They are too small. Now, Legend scales, like, you know, where the figures are much smaller, like Optimus would be about sea spray size here, I'd say that's still a little too big. So, quite frankly, I don't know scale-wise where you'd put this set. As far as Snarl goes, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think he's a pretty good release for what he is. The shoulders are a big gripe. Outside of that, I think it's a pretty solid figure. Now, as far as the set goes, you know, it kind of depends on what you're looking for. I mean, if you're getting a Dinobot set that you just want to set to the side and enjoy, you know, or fun toys, maybe toys for your kid, I think this would work. If you're looking for the best representation of Dinobots in a chug scale, I will forever sit here and tell you that the Fans Project options are infinitely better. Yes, they are more expensive, but yes, they are worth it. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for there. You know, I don't think it's good enough to really force it into a collection to say, oh yeah, this works. I think the Grimlock is by far the weakest of the set, not including Slash because, you know, it's whatever. It combines somehow. You got all these little bits here. You got 4 hands and 2 feet, which is ridiculous. Again, this is stupid beyond all belief here. They really should have used the material here for Grimlock to, one, give him some feet, maybe engineer him just a hair better. He doesn't have to be perfect, just a tiniest bit better, and give him a weapon. A gun, a sword, preferably both, but, you know, since they all have one or the other, yeah, I guess we'd have to go one or the other. Personally, I'd prefer melee weapons. Let's give them all swords. Yeah, that, because when they would transform into dino modes in G1, they would shoot things. You know, he had missiles from his wings. He would shoot fire from his mouth. He'd shoot lasers from his horns. He'd shoot lasers from his tail, and Grimlock would shoot fire from his mouth. So you got your ranged attack there. So I would say, like, if you would have to choose a weapon, I'd go gun over sword. But, you know, this is ridiculous because you could have taken, you know, any 2 of these fists and made them into, you know, like, remove this and do these, right? And then you could have the 2 hands come, you know, do 2 feet with 2 releases and 2 hands with the other 2. Easy peasy. You know, now we've got this extra plastic that we're not going to use. For me, quite frankly, you got all of this extra plastic. This is almost the equivalent of one of these deluxes that I'm not going to use. I am sticking to my guns on this. I said this in one of the previous Dinobot reviews, and I'm sticking to it. This will not be combined by me. I'm not doing it. I refuse. It looks like a mess, and I don't want to go down that road. I refuse to do it. I think this is acceptable. Dinobot mode looks better than robot mode. Robot mode looks pretty good. I have to say it looks good. The set looks fine. And not fine. I'll say this set looks good. I enjoy this set. It's fun to flip them back and forth. You know, I was having a blast just, you know, transforming these guys off screen during the review. So I've been having a blast with that, but ultimately, yeah, it just, it's just a scale issue. That's the one thing that's really holding it back from being a knockout set. Had they made them all the same size and made them more Voyager scale, rather than making combiners, I think that would have been a much more acceptable one. Now, you know, I've talked to somebody on one of my videos before where they said, you know, they did this primarily because they're going to be retools or pre-tools, whatever the hell you want to call it, into the Terracons, which, you know, fine. But you got the Predacons coming too. So why couldn't you retool the Predacons or pre-tool Predacons into this? Because those are all going to be Voyager scaled. You know, you got Headstrong and Tantrum right here. Dive Bomb, obviously. And then you got what crap. Rampage. And of course, you know, maybe you could retool him into a Razor Claw, maybe not. You might have to make one new mold out of the set. But, I mean, honestly, right there, you could have easily done that, and they would have all been Voyager kind of scale. I think they're claiming that they're leader scale, but they are not leader scale. So, that would have been a much more acceptable set. I would say, because it would be much bigger. Predaking's supposed to be the biggest of the combiners, and then Dinobots are supposed to be, huge as well. So to make Predaking so much bigger than the Dinobots, the individual Dinobots, individual Predacons to the individual Dinobots, these Dinobots are going to be dwarfed by the Predacons. So it just nothing's working, and that's kind of what I've noticed with the Power of the Primes line thus far. Starscream is probably the only one that scales appropriately. Outside of Legends figures, I mean, Legends work. They just work. But outside of that, Starscream is probably the only one thus far that I've seen that scales appropriately. All the deluxes are too... Well, okay, the Terracons are working. I'll give them that. But all the Dinobots are too small. Grimlock is... And then the leader class bots are way too big. They just don't fit. The whole line is, so far, while they're making some pretty good toys and fun toys, scale wise, it's a nightmare. So my assessment of the set, because of the scale issues, would be a 2 out of 10. If I'm going by just playability and the fun factor, I'd give the set a 9 out of 10. I think it's a fun set. I recommend it for kids. I do. Or adults that just want to have some fun with some toys. I mean, I'm having a blast with them. I'm very happy that I finally finished the set, because tomorrow this whole set's going to my brother, because he's got... Yeah, he loves the Dinobots, and I always promised that someday I'd give him a full set, and I just couldn't bring myself to give him the Fans Project one. So yeah, this set's going to him. So it is gone. But other than that, I guess not really much else to say.